Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about something that's at the very core of what it means to lead, not just in business, but in life. It's a simple, powerful idea. Leaders don't hide, they solve. Think about that for a second. When things get tough, when a crisis hits, when a problem seems absolutely insurmountable, what's your first instinct? For many, it's to step back, to hope someone else deals with it, or maybe even to pretend it isn't happening. But that's not the path of a leader. The path of a leader is to step forward, to face the chaos head-on, and to start looking for a solution. Every single problem you encounter is not just a roadblock, it's a training ground. It's a custom-designed workout for your leadership muscles. The challenge you're wrestling with today, that's building the exact strength, the specific resilience, the unique wisdom you are going to need for an even bigger challenge tomorrow. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and think, why me? Why is this happening? But a leader reframes that question. A leader asks, what can I learn from this? How will solving this make me, my team, and my organization stronger? Let's break down what it really means to be a solver. First, it's about taking ownership. A true leader doesn't point fingers or waste time on blame. When a problem arises, they say, this is on my watch, so I'm responsible for finding a way through it. This doesn't mean you have to have all the answers yourself. In fact, great leaders rarely do, but it means you own the process of finding those answers. You gather the right people, you ask the right questions, and you create an environment where solutions can emerge. Ownership is the ignition switch for problem solving. Without it, the engine never even starts. You're just sitting there waiting for a tow. Second, being a solver means being relentlessly resourceful. Problems are rarely solved with the resources you wish you had. They're solved with the resources you actually have, combined with a heavy dose of creativity and grit. A leader looks at the tools available, the people on their team, the information at hand, and asks, how can we make this work? They aren't afraid to get their hands dirty, to try unconventional approaches, or to pivot when a strategy isn't working. They see constraints not as limitations, but as a creative challenge. Think of it like a puzzle. You don't get to complain about the shape of the pieces. You just have to figure out how they fit together. That's resourcefulness in action. Third, and this is crucial, solvers communicate with clarity and courage. Hiding from a problem often looks like hiding the truth. Leaders who disappear when things go wrong create a vacuum, and that vacuum gets filled with fear, rumors, and anxiety. A true leader does the opposite. They step into the light. They communicate what's happening, what they know, what they don't know, and what the plan is. This transparency builds trust, even in the middle of a storm. People will follow someone who is honest about the challenges ahead far more readily than someone who pretends everything is fine. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting in spite of it. And communicating openly during a crisis is one of the bravest things a leader can do. Now, let's talk about the second part of that core idea. Every problem you face builds the strength you'll need tomorrow. This is not just a motivational quote. It's a fundamental law of growth. Think back to the biggest professional or personal challenge you've ever overcome. At the time, it probably felt impossible. It might have caused stress, sleepless nights, and a lot of self-doubt. But look at yourself now, on the other side of it. You are stronger, aren't you? You are wiser. You learned things about yourself and your capabilities that you never would have known otherwise. That project that went completely off the rails taught you about project management and contingency planning. That difficult conversation you had to have with a colleague taught you about communication and empathy. That time you failed publicly taught you about humility and resilience. These aren't just battle scars, they are credentials. They are proof that you can endure, adapt, and overcome it. When you face your next big challenge, you won't be starting from scratch. You'll be starting from experience. You'll have this deep well of strength to draw from, a well that was filled, drop, by every single problem you've solved before. This mindset shift is transformative. Instead of dreading problems, you can start to see them as opportunities. I'm not saying you should go looking for trouble, but when it finds you, as it inevitably will, you can greet it with a different energy. You can see it not as a threat, but as a test of your character, your skills, and your resolve, and it's a test you are fully capable of passing. Every leader you admire, from the CEO of a global company to the captain of a local sports team, has a history filled with solved problems. Their journey wasn't a smooth, straight line to the top. It was a rugged, winding path, paved with the stones of challenges they met and conquered. So, how do you cultivate this solver identity? Start small. The next time a minor issue pops up at work or at home, resist the urge to ignore it or pass it off. Step up, own it. Brainstorm a few potential solutions, even if they seem silly at first. Pick one and try it. See what happens. This practice, this habit of facing things head-on, builds momentum. The more small problems you solve, the more confident you'll become in your ability to tackle the big ones. Also, surround yourself with other solvers. Pay attention to the people who run towards problems, not away from them. Learn from how they operate. How do they analyze the situation? How do they rally support? How do they handle setbacks? Leadership is learned, and one of the best ways to learn is by observing and emulating those who are already doing it well. And finally, be kind to yourself in the process. Solving problems is messy. You will make mistakes. Some of your solutions won't work. That's not failure. That's feedback. That's part of the learning process. The key is to not let a failed attempt stop you. A leader who hides might give up after the first try. A leader who solves learns from what went wrong and immediately asks, "Okay, what's next? What's our plan B?" So I want to leave you with this challenge. The next time you are confronted with a problem, big or small, take a deep breath and tell yourself, "I am a solver. This is here to make me stronger." Don't hide from it. Don't wish it away. Step forward, take ownership, and start the process of finding a solution, because that is what leaders do. They don't have perfect, problem-free lives. They have simply mastered the art of solving the problems they face, and in doing so, they build the strength and the legacy that defines their leadership. Every challenge is a stepping stone. Your future self is counting on you to take that step today. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content on leadership and personal growth. I'd love to hear in the comments about a problem you solved that made you stronger. Let's share and learn from each other. Until next time, keep solving.